Hello, my beautiful Noorishments family. Welcome back. I'm back with another recipe. We're going to be making a delicious okra with a garlic and tomato stew. We call it Bamyeh in Arabic, and I'm going to go ahead and pair it with a delicious pot of rice that I make with the vermicelli. Let me know if you guys also eat it with this too. We saute it a little bit before we cook. We add the rice and cook the rice. I have here about a pound of fresh green okra. We're gonna go ahead and de-stem these, saute them a little bit. I have tomatoes here. We're gonna go ahead and put some boiling hot water on them to peel them, cut them up, and then blend them to make a delicious fresh tomato puree. And garlic, of course, we cannot forget that. We're gonna put some in the beginning. We're gonna saute it alone and then add it to the tomato stew. I have some dried coriander as well as some cilantro. And we're gonna go ahead and start to de-stem the okra and go from there. So for many of you guys who know what this dish is, it's highly debated because the texture of okra when you cook it tends to get a little slimy. There's a way to make it so it's still a little crunchy, but it's a little slimy, and it's highly debated among my family and friends, and I'd love to know if you love or hate it. And I think you guys know by watching this video, I obviously love it, but let me know. So with this dish, you can actually make it vegetarian and just do the sauteed tomato with the garlic, and you can add a little onion. I'm making it with braised short rib, which is cooking on the stove there. It's been cooking for a few hours. It's gonna be really tender. You can also optionally do it with some Korean short ribs or any meat you prefer. This is gonna be amazing, tender. You can pull the meat right off the bone, and we're gonna add it back into the tomato stew, and it's gonna be really, really delicious. This was my first time trying it with short rib, but it just seemed like a really great idea, and we're both gonna see how it turns out. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pour some hot water to cover the tomatoes. You let it sit for about 10 minutes and the peel comes right off. Ultimately, you can get canned tomatoes if you're short on time, but this just makes it taste a little extra authentic. Okay, and here's the short ribs that have been cooking for a few hours. They're starting to fall right off of the bone, as you guys can see. It's looking great. These are almost done. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it about another 20 minutes or so, and then we're gonna drain some of the broth. And we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of the broth to the tomato puree to give it a nice, robust flavor. And we'll come back to this. Okay. So I have a pan here with some olive oil. I'm gonna go ahead and heat the pan to high heat. And then we're gonna go ahead and add the okra and saute them for about 10 minutes or so, just until they're a little tender. That way they'll cook more thoroughly throughout the tomato puree. Okay, and this garlic, we're gonna go ahead and add it into the pan after we saute the okra with a little olive oil just to make it a little fragrant. This is also gonna go in the tomato puree. So we are gonna go ahead and make the tomato puree. You can make this in your blender or NutriBullet. I have a NutriBullet, so we're gonna go ahead and use that. And I have about a cup of the beef broth just to make it a little bit more consistent and not as thick when you're blending it. And then just go ahead and put in tomatoes here. And then we're gonna strain this just to make sure we don't get any excess fibers. Okay, so we have our finished product here, the tomato, garlic, short rib, and okra stew. It's looking really good. I have the rice that I cooked with vermicelli. I'm gonna go ahead and plate this. I just have it in like a bowl here. It's about a half-cup bowl, and I'm just molding it so that I can put it in the center of the plate here. Okay, and we have the okra. I wish you guys could smell this. It's very garlicky. Cilantro is fragrant. And it is ready to be eaten. Okay, it's all plated and it's ready to eat. I wish I could share this with you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this with some green onions. And last but not least, the short rib. Okay, you guys can see that it's falling right off of the bone. You can eat it whole or you can shred it up into the okra, the bamyeh. It looks so good and I can't wait to eat. Bon appetit! All right, and there we have it, our bamyeh, our okra stew with tomato, garlic, some fragrant cilantro, coriander, and then I have the beautiful braised short rib. I am ready to eat this. You can eat it like this, or you can also shred up the short rib and really just make it your own way of eating it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and most importantly, make sure you stay nourished.